Good morning and welcome back to Planet AP. If you're new here, it's crazy out here, but you're gonna love it. Have you ever had a moment where you heard a really old song after a really long time? Okay, and the moment you hear that song, it instantly reminds you of what was going on or puts you in that same feeling, that same vibe that you felt when you used to blast that song. That happens because of something called Hebb's Law. Hebb's Law, and if you already know it, you already know it. If you don't know it, I'm going to tell you what it is in a moment. But I'm about to tell you in this video how you're going to use the Hebb's Law using a step-by-step, very simple process to shift your entire reality in 2 weeks without healing, without doing any type of work. Okay, simply activating, initiating, revising, rehearsing, remembering, and shifting, because the outside world is simply a reflection of who you are. Manifestation is not about making something happen outside of you. It is about you shifting internally to be a different person, to project a different consciousness. And the moment you do that, reality simply mirrors it, because you and reality are one. And if you want to learn deeper about this, I actually did a whole webinar called How to Bend Reality. I'm going to put the link in the description below where you can access it. It's completely free, but I want you to watch it. It is 3 hours. It is step by step on every single thing you need to know about reality bending, including the 7 layers of your frequency. Okay, now let's talk firstly about what is Hebb's Law, right? Hebb's Law says, so you know what? Actually, I want you to, before we even get to that, I want you to think about your mind, okay, like a computer. Okay, I want you to think about your mind like a computer, all right? And inside this computer, there are these different programs. Each program runs on autopilot, all right? So, you know, for example, when you download an app into your PC, right? When you download any app, what happens? It will install on its own, and then it will run on its own. All you get to do is, you don't have to tell the app, okay, step 1, you're going to do this, no, it will run all on its own. And then once you open it, you can interact with it, you can utilize it, whatever, right? But you don't have to make it you don't have to do anything except click on the app for you to run that app, right? Now, similarly, inside your mind, there are these programs, okay? Each program runs on autopilot, and whatever program runs is what is projected by the 3D. Now, here's the thing, all right? Let's say you have an app on your iMac called Canva. You have CapCut. You have all these different apps on your iMac, okay? Now, if for example, I go on Discord, I run Discord, that app, Discord, will now open and I can use it. But when I press Discord, Canva won't open, CapCut won't open, no other app will open when I press Discord. When I press Discord, only Discord will open. This will all make sense, okay? But because I want you to understand something, all right? Now, similarly, when you start an iMac, what happens sometimes is there's some apps that every time you start, they just pop up. Automatically they turn on. It's like an autopilot thing, all right? So the moment, for example, my iMac, the moment I start it, the moment I turn it on, right? I have programmed it in a way that Canva freaking opens, Telegram will open, Safari will open. I don't have to even do anything. It's just the moment I start it, pop. All these different apps are right in my face, all right? This is also where it's really important this all ties together, okay? To you and how you're going to change your reality. I promise. All right. So you understand, we're going to run by it again. Your mind, it's a computer. It has all these different programs, okay? Inside a computer, and each program runs on autopilot, and whatever program runs, it's projected by 3D. Just like inside a computer, all these apps, when I press Discord opens, but all of these 3 don't. However, at the same time, when I start my computer, Canva automatically opens. Safari automatically opens. Telegram automatically opens. I don't have to start it. It will just automatically open. And that is exactly what happens with you and me. Every one of us, okay? Imagine if I just ended the video here. Like, that's what happens. Figure it out. Okay, so what you want to understand, all right? Now, this is you, as always, and inside your mind, there is the default program, okay? Then there is chosen program, okay? Let's say there is and this, by the way, I'm talking, like when I give, all these different programs, I'm especially talking to the person who has been doing, identity work, quantum leaping stuff. You've been in this space. You know what quantum leaping is. You know what identity work is. You've done the processes or whatever. But what you're not able to do is sustain that identity. What you're not able to do is stay in the same identity long enough for the 3D to catch up. But you do have those programs set up, especially for you. But even if you've never done any of this work, or you're relatively new to the space, this works for you too, okay? But just for the example, I said this, okay? Now what happens is when you wake up, right? You wake up, your mind, just like this, just like when I turn on my computer, Canva automatically opens. It doesn't care whether I want to use Canva or not. It just pops up on the screen like I do, okay? So just like that, what happens is your default program runs, okay? So you will call this your Canva runs. The moment you start your computer, as in the moment you wake up, your Canva pops up, all right? So this default program for most people is what? For everyone, it's the familiar, right? So this could be stress, this could be anxiety, this could be about, you're thinking about work, your fam, your kids, your to-do list, whatever, it's like you wake up and then suddenly maybe you pick up your phone and suddenly you're plugged in and the entire default program runs. Your Canva pops up, okay? Then after your Canva, you don't close Canva, your Telegram, right? Over here I said what? Canva, Telegram, and Safari, right? So your Telegram comes in, and then your Safari runs. And before you know it, your entire screen is like, flooded with like all these different pop-ups, all these different apps, and you just woke up. You just started your computer. Before you know it, you woke up, and your mind is running the same program, which is made up basically of the past. Familiar thoughts, familiar feelings, familiar environment, familiar timelines, familiar expectations, familiar everything. Now, here's where most people go wrong. But not you, because you're watching this, okay? What they do is, instead of, there's this icon over here. There's these 3 dots, right? And this dot says X. Instead of closing Canva and closing Telegram, well, Safari I use, so I don't close it, but closing Safari, right? They go like, okay, let me just scroll through Canva a little bit. Let me look through my Telegram and let me see what Safari has to say. Instead of unplugging or, closing the window, what do? They start browsing through it. So then they start going like, okay, what are these thoughts? What are these beliefs? What are the expectations? What are the loyalties? And so on and so forth. And before they know it, they are running the same program that they were running yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. And then 5 minutes a day or 1 hour a day, they sit down and they were like, no, I am manifesting a new life, right? And then they write all these things and they go like, yeah, I have it. And they feel great. But those programs were never closed. So they're still running in the background. Now, on top of it, what happens? Okay, let me ask you this. When you're using a computer, a laptop, whatever, right? What happens when there's too many apps or too many programs running at the same time? It gets slow. The speed, the effectiveness, the, like, I don't know the technical term, but I will say the ka-chowness. Okay, like Lightning McQueen, the ka-chow. It's no longer working like. It's like, oh my God, why are you taking forever to open one PDF? And the bar at the bottom is so tiny over here because you have so many different programs running that your computer, if it could talk, it would say close the freaking tabs. What are you doing? Why do you have a million tabs open? Or when you on Safari, there was this one point in my life, I remember this was on my MacBook and I had no app other than Safari that I was using, okay? But my Safari had 6 or 7 windows, all right? And each window had over 150 tabs open. And my Macs kept crashing, and I was like, or not crashing as in like shutting down, but just being so slow, lagging a lot, right? Lagging was the word. Oh my God. When you don't close the programs, when you have so many tabs open, your computer, lags a lot, right? And then this is what happens. So instead of shutting down the default program, you have these running as background apps. And then you start to fire new apps on top of it. So it's not that your new apps won't load. It's that it's going to lag because you are running too many things at the same time instead of just focusing your energy on one thing, one app, one whatever. Do you get what I mean? Now Hebb's law says, right? Says nerve cells or neurons that fire together, wire together. Okay? So, basically what Homeboy said, that when you fire, when we bring it to my analogy, right? So when you fire, for example, when you wake up, you fire the abundance program. And after that, you run the chosen program. And after that, let's say you run the, love program. Now, when you run these 3 programs together every day, okay, what happens is that they become a little team, okay? So they become one program. So just like when I turn on my iMac, Canva, Telegram, and Safari gang up on me, right? They've kind of, in a way, become one program. So your 3, 4, whatever programs become this one program. As in, okay, you think this thought, then this thought, then this thought, then this, and now it's one program. And neurons that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. All right? So let's understand this in this way. Oh my God, we don't have space, but we need everything. Feel the magic in the air. I think we're just gonna have to wipe it off. All right, we'll start with your old program, okay? Your old program, meaning your default program, is that you wake up, your Canva, your Telegram to Safari journey. You wake up, you have a specific thought, and it's a thought you have almost every other morning. It could be, I'm late, it's Monday, oh my God, it's 9 a.m. already, oh my God, what do I have to do next? Whatever that thought is, right? Then you start, that thought triggers the next response, which is, oh my God, I need to check my email. Oh my God, do I have a meeting? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Your brain starts to fire incoherent. Like it's like a fucking circus there, because inside your mind, all right, there are neural networks, okay? So everything has every memory, every person, everything has a little neural network of its own, has a little, we'll call it a file of its own, all right? a file of its own, a folder, a file, whatever. And inside that file, there's everything that reminds you of that, all right? That's why when you listen to a very old song that you haven't heard in a minute, it instantly puts you back because that opens that file and it plays the music, the melody, the feeling, the state of being, the memories from that time, from that experience, from what was going on back then, right? So you wake up, you have those thoughts, then you have these, like it triggers the next thing, and then eventually all of that triggers stress, fear, guilt, lack, which is basically survival. Where most people go wrong is that they let the old program run, and then on top of it, they try to bring a new program, all right? Because, and before we get to the new program, I want you to understand that the world is simply frozen imagination, meaning it is frozen consciousness, okay? Whatever, you do not manifest what you say you want, you manifest your most familiar program. The program that you run the most is the program that life shows you the most. Because it's simply like once an app opens, then you can interact with the app, right? So just like that, once a program runs, then it plays out in the 3D. But if you never open CapCut or if you never open Safari, for example, then you can't use that app. It could exist inside your computer, but you will not be able to use it, to access it, to experience that reality in the 3D unless and until you open the app. So your mind, basically what happens is your mind runs a program and consciousness observes that program. And whatever consciousness observes is what you see outside of you. So that means that if there's this program for survival, consciousness is observing, I'm not chosen, people don't like me, I will never get what I want, money is hard for me, whatever. I mean, at the webinar itself, right? I walked everyone through these 7 steps, 7 layers of their frequency, right? They were like, oh, I'm manifesting 100K months. I'm manifesting a partner. I'm manifesting this. But then when we got to find, decoding their frequency, they found out that they're saying I'm manifesting 100K months, but their belief about 100K is that it's a lot of money. I can't make it. People don't want to pay me. Or that, someone was like, I want to go viral on social media. And then she was like, no one wants to watch my content. If that's the program you're running, you can say that I want, but the program will be reflected outside of you. Not what you say you want, but what the program is running. So what you want to change is not the bigness or the smallness of your desire, but rather, what is the program that is fueling the desire? Because the desire without a system, without a program, cannot be experienced in your 3D. You can visualize all freaking day, but if you're running a program that brings you here, or if you're you start off and you spend half your day in survival, and then for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour in your day, you run a new program, what happens? It's gonna lag. You might get a thing and not get a thing. It'll be like up and down, up and down. But if you actually want to shift your reality in 2 weeks, what do we need to do? We need to basically create a new program, which means that when you wake up, so here's what I said earlier, right? I said when I turn on my Mac, Canva, Telegram, Safari pop right up. That's your old program that will pop right up the moment you wake up. But your job is, this time, you will interrupt the pattern. Interrupt the program. Instead of scrolling through it, you're going to close the tabs. All right? So here's what you're going to do. The first way you're going to close the tab is the moment you wake up. Okay. All right. I jumped a little bit, but here's what we're going to do, okay? Obviously, okay. All right, actually, well, let's just go with it. Let's just roll with it. The moment you wake up, all right, because we want to interrupt this pattern, this is what you're going to do. Okay, I want you to do this for 2 weeks. I promise you, this is going to blow your mind by how fast this shit works, all right? You with me? Okay, let's go. When you wake up, instead of, naturally, maybe your habit is that you know, reach for the phone or stay in bed, like pull up the covers. I want you to interrupt the pattern. So you're, without thinking, without anything, you're just going to jump out of bed. Like, you're just going to stand up. Like, even if like you stand there, like, I don't care, all right? You're gonna stand up, all right? The first thing, only first task, get out of bed, all right? Get out of bed, and then, no, you're not meditating yet. You're not forcing yourself to do nothing yet. We want to interrupt the freaking pattern so hard. So you're going to go to the kitchen, you're gonna open your freezer, and you're gonna get an ice cube, okay? You're going to get an ice cube, all right? Now, just one ice cube, all right? I don't care if it's winter, okay? It's winter, but so what, all right? You're gonna get an ice cube, and here's what you're gonna do. Okay, you're gonna get the ice cube right over here where the stamp is. You're going to place the ice cube for a good 10 to 15 seconds, okay? You can do 2 rounds of these. One on the left, one on the right, okay? You take the same ice cube first on the left, then do it on the right, okay? After that, right over here, okay? Under your jawline, so, like somewhere over here, then here for 5 seconds, okay? Then take the ice cube and literally like rub it all over your face. I don't care if it's cold. Firstly, it's really good for your skin. But secondly, this will interrupt the pattern so hard. It will close all these tabs. Now you've reset yourself, okay? Because I know that, you know, like it's impractical to expect every single person on earth to freaking go and get into an ice bath. Take an ice this. No, just one ice cube. It's easy, it's accessible, everyone. You don't need to be no millionaire with a mansion with an ice bath thing situation going on. One ice cube, everyone can get it, all right? Now, once you're done with this, then you're going to run your new program. Because this morning is where you get that opportunity to, like, you know, close all other tabs. You set the tone. You decide what your day is going to be, who you are, which timeline you're in. All right? What are we doing? We're jumping out of bed. We're doing the ice cube thing. And then we're running your new program. Now, how are you running your new program? Very, very simple. Okay? Now, obviously, before you start this, I want you to determine your timeline you're in, meaning the reality. So, you know, like, how does money work for you? What is it that you want, right? What's your desired reality? Okay? Then you're going to find out who is living this normally. Okay? Who is, because these are the outcomes, but we want to find out, we want to, you know, like, look at what is the identity that is running this, okay? So you're going to find out the identity that's living this reality. Who is that identity? So the thoughts, the beliefs, whatever, right? Basically, you want to have a story, okay? You want to have a story for who you are, how the world works for you, how whatever is in this reality, how normal it is for you, whatever. Then every morning, you're going to ask yourself a list of questions, okay? And every morning you can pick any 3. And I'll give you a couple of them, but you can come up with your own as well, right? So for example, okay, which program am I running today? So this is where you kind of like set the tone for the day, all right? What your story is, what your storyline is. If you were in a movie, what will be the plot happening right now, okay? How does life respond to me in this program? Again, remember that this is not about you forcing reality to change. This is about you running a different inner program. Reality will shapeshift itself, okay? So how does life respond to me in this program? It means that if you are someone who naturally makes consistent 100K months, okay? So then how does life respond to you in this program where that's just natural for you? Money is always in my accounts. Money is literally always, whatever I put out always gets sold out. All my products, all my offers, everything is always sold. People love buying from me. My products, my offers, my courses, whatever it is that you sell, right? It creates an impact in the world. People love to buy it because the value that they receive is insane. You know, like whatever. You need to normalize this in your base. Not like, oh my God. It's like, okay, it already happens. So 100K months are easy, are effortless, are natural for you because that's just who you are. Because the work you do is, people love it. It has changed people's lives. It has impacted them so significantly that they're like, holy freaking shit, right? How easy is everything for me now? So this is where you loosen the framework even, because here's the thing, babes, your mind is a terrible leader, but an excellent servant. So this is you basically, once you've interrupted the program, you're giving your mind what to focus on. And it is always choosing. Out of 11 million bits of information, it literally only processes, your conscious mind only processes 40 bits of that information, 40 to 150, whatever. Point is that it is based on what you process, what you notice is based on the program you're running. So then what you notice, if it's based on the program you're running, then your background thoughts are also mirrors of that program. So this, when you consciously, after disrupting the old pattern, you put on all of this, you then for the rest of the day, let this be playing on autopilot in the background. So then you are now running from that different program and life will mirror you back. Okay, so how easy is everything for me now? How do I choose to have fun today? How am I being my best friend today? What do I expect from life as the bare minimum now? All right, so every morning, whatever questions, these or whatever else, right? You're going to use those questions and you're going to write out the answers until you are that person. In the beginning, maybe when you start writing, the Canva, the Telegram, the Safari might try to open, and that's okay. But you've already shut the program. So you're just gonna keep writing. You're gonna keep writing until you're in the groove, you're lost inside it, you are it, period. And then once you're done, you're gonna close it, go have your day, all right? Then midday, all right, afternoon, because we're doing this for 2 weeks, okay? Midday, again, get the ice cube, reset, and simply sit down for like a good 5-10 minutes. Read through your answers or your identity statements, or like, you know, like you have like these phrases for who you choose to be now, who you are now, what this reality is now, your beliefs, your identity, whatever, right? And you're going to simply sit, read, or write them. Whatever works for you, say them out loud until you feel it now. Go on with the rest of your day. And at night, simply you're gonna pull out that journal of yours and you're going to put, you know, like put away your phone, whatever. Just 10 minutes before bed, you're gonna sit down, open that journal. If you wanna write or just talk out loud, this is where you talk to God specifically. Also, all of this is you talking to God, right? You are when you do this, okay, when you're resetting your program, when you're doing this, I forgot to mention that, but when you're answering these questions, you need to, like, it's like, you know, you're telling God who you choose to be. And another thing, by the way, I forgot to mention is after you're done with this, whenever throughout your day, if something pops up that is off the old program, you're simply going to say, well, God's taking care of it for me. Dear God, I give this up to you so that I am free to run my new program. I give up my old programs to my challenges, whatever. You take care of it and inspire me to go where I need to go, do what I need to do. But you've taken care. I trust it. I am it, and period. Khalas. Thank you. Then at night, you will simply, like, you know, sit down and thank God for the day you've had. Thank God for every great thing that happened today. And it could be like great thing, meaning it could be the smallest thing. Like I got a donut. Thank you. I want you to, like, the more and more you appreciate the little things, because gratitude is the highest form of receivership, right? So you're going to firstly thank God for those, and then you're going to thank God for what has not yet caught up in your 3D as if it already has. So thank you for this. Thank you for this reality where this gets to be my normal. Thank you for a reality where I get to experience this. Thank you for a life where I get to wake up like this, feeling like this, blah, blah, blah. Halas, go to bed. 2 weeks, I promise you, if you do this, it's going to change your identity so fast, and that will change the world outside of you. Now, firstly, you want to grab my workshop, watch it, because the free replay access may not be available for lifers, so just grab it before it leaves. Now, you can spend the next 2 weeks doing this, okay? Or if you want to build your identity system, your frequency system together in a 30-day bootcamp with me, which is designed to delete your old programs, you install your new programs, and give you an identity and frequency mastery system that you can use for the rest of your life, so you never ever have to get a program about identity, self-concept, manifestation, whatever, ever again. And right now, for the next 48 hours, if you get that, you also get my entire 2025 vault, which is basically every program, container, activation, whatever I've done in 2025 for absolutely free. So if you want to get that, you can get that from the link below as well. But either way, I love you. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about something else. Bye.